Headline Secrets. For those of you who have been with us in the past and understand the basic strategy that we use with social media traction, we basically build a library, is what we call it, a central web presence where information about your company, your products, your services is housed. And then we develop headlines about the content in that library. And we take those headlines out into the social networks where millions, hundreds of millions of people are living every day. So it is very important to create headlines that will pull your audience from the networks where they're living every day into your library. So one of the things we want to talk about is the fact that the object of what we're really trying to accomplish here is pull marketing versus push marketing. And the difference in that is, for years and years, we have all been subject to push marketing. We sit down and watch TV, and a television commercial gets placed in front of us, and we have not opted into that commercial. In the social network world, we need to become experts at pull marketing, which is to opt in to be associated or related to people in our social networks, and then put headlines in front of them that ultimately pull them from the social network into our space. Most people in the social networking genre enjoy that idea today because it's a way for them to get information from a trusted source with a good reputation. Millions of people are in the networks. Your information is in your library, and what we are really trying to do is to create incentive for them to visit you in your library. The easiest thing for me to explain how to create effective headlines is to say you need to keep it brief, to the point, and intriguing. Those are probably your three most important points to remember. Who's good at this? Obviously, the television is good at it. When you're watching the news and right before they break to a commercial, they say something like, when we come back, we're going to have the latest on, and they give you some intriguing thing that's happening, and you got to stay there and watch the commercial because as soon as they come back to the news, you want to see the latest on that thing. Newspapers are really good at it as well. Here's an example. You know, dark days ahead. Oh my gosh, it's doom and gloom. I got to read this article, figure out what's really going on. Successful pull marketers are also very good at creating enticing headlines. We'll have some fun here for a minute. The Mississippi literacy. Wait a minute. How did they spell Mississippi? So here's an example of a headline that you want to read only because they spelled it wrong. Here's another one that caught my eye was, the midget is suing because of belittling remarks. All right, enough for my midget jokes. If you go to socialmediatraction.com, there are 3 resources for you to help you in developing lines. There are 3 posts. One's called Headline Secrets. The next one's called Fill in the Blank Headlines, which we'll go through a few of them right now. And the next one is Headline Rules. We'll review that as well. Here's another important one to remember. When you're developing headlines, you want to speak your audience's native tongue. What do I mean by that? I've had the privilege myself the last couple of years to go over and climb Mount Everest. And while we're in this region in Nepal, nobody speaks English. You're cold. You're sitting in front of a little fire environment trying to get yourself warm. Nobody's speaking your language. If you're sitting there and from across the room you hear somebody speak English, you immediately begin to perk and look over there. And if you're from Tennessee and you happen to hear mention Tennessee, you might even stand up and walk right over to that person and ask that person where they're from or begin a conversation with that person. So you understand the impact of speaking native tongue and the result that ensues when someone hears their native tongue and the response that they have to it. How do you learn to speak someone's native tongue? You need to memorize 3 left and 1 right. And here's how you do it in the social network world. You want to listen. Listen to what your people say. Listen to your audience. Listen to the conversation. Learn from what they say. Launch information in accordance with what they're looking for, and then repeat that action. And what you'll find is you'll begin to deliver information that is according to the desires of your audience, the things that they're looking for. You'll begin to speak their native tongue. Here's a couple of examples that will demonstrate speaking someone's native tongue. We could develop a headline that says, discounts today at Kroger, stop in and save on Jif peanut butter. Or for the exact same information, we could create a post that says, attention moms, your 4th grader wants her PBJ after school. The difference there is the moms are moms, and the moms are interested in information about moms, and so you're speaking their language. If they have a 4th grader, or if they have any grader in an elementary environment, they're going to be focused on that 4th grader. And their kid generally doesn't say, hey mom, give me a Jif peanut butter sandwich. Their kid's going to say, give me a PB&J sandwich. So you're using terms and phrases that are in accordance with their native tongue. Here's some fill-in-the-blank examples. Using important words like secret, or coming up with modern rules. These are things people want to know. What are the new things I need to know? Using numbers, 10 and 21. Here's a quick way to, everybody wants a quick, fast solution to something. So you can fill in the blank with your product or your service, but those are some fill-in-the-blank examples. Here are the 7 compelling headline rules that you absolutely need to follow and remember. And if you go to, again, socialmediatrack.com, click on the 7 compelling headline rules, you're going to learn them. Simple and short. The best headlines are less than 10 words. Readers prefer quick and simple. The right words, you've got to use the right words. There are specific words that you want to use. Again, one of the posts on socialmediatraction.com will give you some of those right words to use. Make sure there's a benefit involved. People want to know what they're going to get, what the benefit is to them from reading your post. So use benefit statements. Be very direct. Again, it's being simple or being short. But tell your reader exactly what's coming as opposed to beating around the bush. Ask a question. Readers always want to know answers to questions, and specifically questions that they want answers to. Again, if you use 3 lefts and you're right, you'll learn what it is they're looking for and be able to answer questions for them. Again, numbers. Specifically, uneven numbers. 5 ways to do this. 9 tips on that. Uneven numbers get noticed. And use action statements, things like discover. These are statements that will help your reader take action. They want to discover. There are some headline secrets.